All right, so you'll hear from the back a relatively authoritative voice call out, Wilfred, have you finished tying up the prisoner?
I have just finished this lot.
With that, you will see another captain, another pirate emerge, dressed very extravagantly. And there's two characteristics that comes to mind with this captain, and he's got a scar mark looking thing around one of his eyes. He doesn't have an eye patch. His eye still seems to work, but it does seem to have like this black scar on his face. And on his hat, everything else that he's wearing is black, but on his head, he's wearing a hot pink hat. Hot pink hat. And none of the, I would say your crew members notice this, and they might snicker a little bit at this, whereas the other crew members who are with this captain, they don't react to it at all. And the captain takes a wooden chair or stool, and then he sits down in front of you, and he leans in, and of course you can smell some ale in his breath. He then says, "So, ye be Captain Black Powder in the flesh."
It would seem so. And who might you be?
Who I be? I'm surprised that my reputation doesn't precede me. But if you could use a little bit of more knowledge into that little head of yours, I'll regale you with a bit of a introduction. You see, I am known in the high seas as Captain Redcap.
I think you need to go a shade darker, lad.
What ye be talking about? You have heard some stories. You did hear a story about a captain known as Captain Redcap, and rumors say that he has been afflicted with some sort of curse, physically, which probably explains the manifestation of something around his eye. Rumor has it that one thing that this curse does is that it cursed him to be utterly colorblind. Utterly colorblind. Good job, Adam. Good job.
You know, I have heard of you, yeah. Classic rookie mistake getting cursed, you know. Just as a heads up so you're aware, your hat looks like you stole it off of some namby-pamby lass at your last port.
How dare ye, he says.
It's pink, not red.
As soon as you say it's pink, not red, the entire crew goes, oh, like, did he just say that? It's pink. It looks like he's about to, like, back fist you. He, like, stands up to, like, strike you. And I'm just curious, like, how do you react in any way as he's about to strike you?
He does not.
Yeah. Roll, do you have something in the line of, like, presence that you could roll? Just out of curiosity?
Okay. I gotta automatically subtract my fearless level from it,
Yeah.
which is 5, so
Yeah.
I roll willpower, I guess.
Yes, that sounds good. Willpower.
-5, so 5.
That is a strong success.
Yeah, that is a strong success. So the red cap is about to strike you, but then he hesitates. He pulls back a little bit, and again, his crew is waiting with bated breath to see what he does, because you can get a sense that other people have dared to refer to his hat as pink, and it didn't go very well for them when they called his hat pink.
Mm-hmm.
And so he said, he sort of like backs up a little, and he starts to pace. He starts to pace back and forth as if he's like trying to decide what he's gonna do or what he's gonna say next. Mr. Black Powder, perhaps you and I have started off on the wrong foot. Now, Even though ye and I be pirates, I would like to believe that we both can agree that there is a bit of a skewed vision, a skewed idea of us being barbarians, ruffians. I'd like to think that any self-respecting pirate are, well, respectful. So, I would like to start again. I will be the bigger man, ignore the previous parts of our conversation that I believe were a bit beneath the caliber of any self-respecting pirate, and we'll continue again from the beginning. How about we say that?
I'm willing to at least hear that.
He will sit back down to the stool. Well, first, I should probably say that you have quite a ship here. Very impressive. I thank you for allowing us here as guests. He smiles a bit, as you can see, like the yellowing teeth. But I guess you are probably curious as to wondering, what brings us to your this neck of the seas? Why did we decide to pay ye a visit? Well, a little birdie told me that you are in possession of a valuable map. A map that is said to be of great value for one seeking treasure. Does this, by any chance, ring a bell in that noggin of yours?
Well, I've come across many maps and many treasures, so you'll have to be a wee bit more specific.
It is a piece of a larger map that is said to take you to the Atoll of Whispers.
Well, you see, that right there, that's a bit of a sticky situation, Izzy. I had the map. Whatever rumors you heard, it wasn't a piece, it was a map. And I knew where it was. But it seems the lads on the ship we took were not quite so foolish as to just let us have it. They were surprisingly smart for being people who follow the law. They seem to have sent it away a few weeks before we arrived.
You sent it away! Sent it away! So who has it now?
That's what I was on my way to find out when you so rudely interrupted me.
He sits back a little bit, folds his arms. I'm listening.
Well, I don't got anything more to tell you, so it's a little late for that, isn't it?
Well, you said you were on your way to find that out, so surely you had a lead. Surely you knew where you were going to find out where this map ended up. I'm not as stupid as you think, he says, pointing at his hot pink hat.
Of course you're not, Captain Orchid. But
at that, he yells out, Gonk! He snaps his fingers, and one of the other crewmen, his name is Gonk, he's like hobbles over, and Gonk, he looks a little nervous, almost like he's a little bit green as he's like hobbling over, and you know, he's got this weird looking contraption, thingamabigger, kind of steampunkish in nature, and it's this machine that he just puts down in front of you, and it's got like really weird little things, like there's like a boxing glove looking thing, and there's like these springs and dials and all that stuff, and all these levers and of different colors, and all of a sudden he says, place it up against the captain. So he places this mechanical box up in front of this contraption in front of Captain Black Powder, and he says, pull the lever, Gonk, he says as he points over to the contraption, And Gonk's looking at this, and there's like several levers on it, and he says, which one, Captain? The green lever. Push the green lever. And then Gonk is like looking at the lever. None of them are green. None of them are green.
At this point, I must say, I feel absolutely terrible for your crew. To have such a cowardly captain, he can't even deal with the prisoner on his own. You have to call on someone else to do your dirty work, to use a machine, instead of getting your own hands dirty. I swear, I've known cabin boys with more courage than you, and your crew should be ashamed that they follow a wee nip like you.
Oh, a lot of everybody, like both sides of the crew, both crews, like go ooh with that.
Because the fact is, without them, you're nothing but a little kid playing dress up.
Captain Redcap goes, it's called delegation! I delegate, that's what a captain does!
While I'm doing this, because he tied the knot badly, can I untie the knot?
Roll, do you have a, I don't know.
I have not tied.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't have a stick time, but I do have, no rope time.
Yeah, go ahead and roll it. And just because, actually, Adam, could you roll me 3d6s because you were the one who tied the captain up in the first place? Just roll me 3d6s.
I absolutely can.
And we'll add 2 to this roll. 3d6s and add 2 to whatever roll you get.
Alright.
9. Okay. What did you
Middle of the
get?
road.
Oh, 12.
Yeah, 12
Okay. So 9 plus 2 is 11. So that is. I'm gonna say that you get it loose. You're not completely untied, but you're loose.
I'm working slow.
You're looking slow. You think that you could get it untied? I will say you can untie it within the next minute.
Okay.
And at this point, while this minute is happening, unless you have something else you wanted to say, poor Gonk is scratching his head. He's trying to figure out what to do, and again the captain repeats, "Pull the lever, Gonk!" And meanwhile, Gonk is looking at the other crew, and he's like, he's looking at the other crew members, and the other crew members are I don't know, I don't see you. They're not helping him at all. And one of them, actually, yeah, he goes over, he looks towards Wilford, and Wilford, he kind of mouths, "Dude, help me out here." He didn't actually say dude, he said, "Help me out here, help me. Which one do I pick? Which lever do I push?"
Ah, yes, the crow's nest. Lovely time of evening for some scouting.
So Wilfred just pieces out.
Watching all this, I'm just gonna watching all this. I'm gonna actually look at the crew, and it's you all really could do better.
Gonk, pull the green effing lever!
Be happy to have you with me.
Gonk finally ends up pulling a lever, and this big punching bag thing ends up punching Gonk into the face, square in the face, and he falls back. And there's stars. You can probably see the stars on his face. And at this point, Captain Redbeard just the incompetence! He says, "You're embarrassing me in front of Black Powder!" He says, pointing to the rest of the group. "You! To the plank!" He says. And Gonk says, No, Captain, not the plank! Not the plank! And several of the crew members are now taking him over, and he says, Please give me another chance. I can pull another lever. I just was confused when he says as he's being called away.
Yeah, I'm still looking at the crew, and it's you all seem actually quite smart lads. Why do you follow him?
The rest of the group starts to look at each other, and one of us says, He's a good captain. Yeah, he's a good captain, and he's got good Fashion sense. Yeah, best fashion sense. Best fashion sense. Yes, beautiful red cap. Beautiful red cap.
That's just what he wants you to believe. Does it really feel right getting punished when he won't even get his own hands dirty? And can't even give proper instruction on what to do? Does that feel right to you, Lon? You can have a much better time, get a lot more renown across the seas, if you had maybe followed someone with a wee bit more experience and pride in his work.
Roll a persuasion or whatever that you think you roll for that.
Let's see, what do I have? Fast Talker? The skill of talking others into doing things against their judgment.
Yeah, go ahead. Fast Talker, do it. Let's do it. Let's see it. Roll.
12 out of 17.
Nice. Okay. So you definitely seem to be swaying a good amount of the crew. And I'm going to say that Captain Redcap will yell out, "Gag the prisoner!" And with some hesitancy, one of the more loyal captain members does go over and proceeds to gag Blackbeard so you can't speak anymore. But it looks like a good amount of the damage has been done. Some of the seeds have been planted, so at that, Redcap is going to say, take him away, put him down into the brig," he says. And, the crew will start to take him down into the brig. And as we're starting to close the scene, do you have anything you would like to say that Black Powder is? He's still gagged, but do you want to say anything that Black Powder is doing as he's being taken to the brig?
When he sees the rest of his crew, especially like his first mate and whatnot, he'll give them like a little bit of a wink, like, I got this. And, he'll just stay calm, completely unfazed by everything that's happened, and just look sympathetically at the poor crew of this idiot.
And we will end the scene there. So good.
Black
awesome.
Powder is the MVP. I love it.
Yeah.
Such a smooth criminal.
Right?
All right. So that was Act 1. Let us move on to Act 2. So the main 5. Roll me 3d6s again. 3d6s once again. Got it. So it looks like Joe is up first. Okay. Sam. Ooh, nice. Ooh, let's mix things up a little bit, Sam. So, Sam, you say that you're arriving at the Jacques E. Skinner's shop/residence, and you're just trying to stake out the place a little bit. Okay. So, to your surprise, as you are approaching, are you going by foot, or you can get there by foot if you'd like, or if you would prefer to drive, it doesn't matter. We can make it so that it's far enough that you could reasonably drive instead. But it's up to you. What do you want to do? What do you prefer?
I'd probably drive so that I've got a place,
Okay.
If I need to duck it.
Okay. So you'll drive not right up to the place, but a good distance away from it. But you do notice as you're driving towards the place that there already seems to be quite a bit of activity at Jacques E. Skinner's house or abode. There appears to be the flash of police car lights. There seems to be police at the scene right now. And I'm going to say that in addition to some of the other generic officers there, you see another individual who appears to be speaking to probably the lead officer at the scene. Detective Miles Haskell. Okay?
All right.
Your rival detective, Miles Haskell, yes.
All right. Looking around, I definitely want to make sure there's a good bit of distraction for him. And I want to kind of circle around a little bit to one of the flatfoots and just see if I can get close enough to just, What's going on here?
Okay, so you're kind of stealthing your way, is what you're saying? You don't
Yeah.
want to be seen? Yeah, go ahead and roll your stealth.
7.
Cool. So, are you trying to approach the detective? Are you trying to make your way around the house? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, I want to make
Wait.
my way to like the side of the house
Yeah, you
where
can do that.
where there's still a police officer
Yes.
to talk to, but avoiding Haskell.
Yeah, you will be able to easily avoid Haskell. He seems to be preoccupied with his conversation. And you're going to go around the back of the house, and you're going to see that there are a couple of other police officers there. And there seems to be in the backyard a dug up grave of some sort. But not like there was a gravestone there. It just looks like something's been dug up from the ground, and you actually see a body bag there. And, you know, there's like, I'm assuming even back then they had something like yellow tape, I'm assuming back then. So they got like yellow tape all over the scene of the crime. And yeah, so those are like the probably the biggest things that you can see from where you're at.
Gotcha. So yeah, I want to approach up and any of the cops that are there, I want to offer them a cigarette and start breaking that ice a little bit. So offer them a cigarette and a light and just ask them what seems to be going on here.
Yeah, let me roll a reaction roll. So in GURPS, you basically do a reaction roll, which I do secretly, and that basically allows me to determine how this NPC feels about this character, and in this one, higher is better. Somebody could remind me like how if there's anything. Well, first of all, I'll ask: is there any thing about your character that boosts reactions to Sam? Especially because this is a fellow police officer, a fellow law enforcer.
Yeah, so I do have law enforcement as well as attractive. So I do have
Okay.
both of those.
Okay. Yes. And how much bonuses do they each give you?
That is a total of +3.
And just to clarify with everyone, like I do tend to still take things like attraction by default, even regardless of sexual orientation, because the sad reality is, even if you're not attracted to a specific gender, you still recognize that they are attractive, and that can bias you in certain ways. So that's why I'm still taking that into consideration, just to clarify. I'm going to tell people what I roll just so that viewers who are watching understand GURPS, because not everybody understands what GURPS are. So with that, I got an 11, which is not, it's better than poor. It's just underneath, it's neutral, basically. So general reaction, the NPC ignores the PCs as much as possible. He's totally uninterested unless you like go up to that person. In a potential situation, combat situation, this is not a combat situation. Now, I am going to give Sam a little bit of an extra bump, just because this police officer, I'd like to say that he has a bit of a reputation, like in this part of town, and so I'll give him a little bit of bump, so he might be a little bit friendlier towards Sam, maybe knows who Sam is. So I think because he's neutral, I'm going to say he doesn't fully recognize his name, probably knows him by face, and he's gonna say, "Oh, you're one of those PIs, aren't you?"
Yeah. Here, looks like you got your hands full back here. For the smoke.
Detective Haskell's already here. You with him? You're like his partner or something?
Well, not partner, but yeah, we go way back to the academy. We've been training together the whole 9 yards.
So, what brings you here then?
Well, I heard that this taxidermist here had some good stuff to really look at, and had a mutual friend tell me that I should check some of his work out, and I figured I'd come by, see what was going on, and I didn't expect all the hubbub.
Well, I'm afraid we've got a murder on our hands.
Yeah. Say, is it this Skinner that got murdered?
Afraid so. We had ID'd him as Jacques E. Skinner. Apparently he was buried under the ground here in his own house, his own residence.
When, how long has it looked like he's been buried down here?
Oh, I don't know. I'm not the autopsy experts, but we're gonna be taking the body over for examinations. So I don't know. Based on the deterioration, I would say it's probably within the last few days.
Well, the one thing you want to make sure you do for Haskell is make sure you don't miss anything. He's going to grill you. He's going to grill you really good. Now, he's going to be doing some tests. That's all going to go up to the captain. See, so you got to make sure that you get all the details you can. If you like, I can help you out with that.
Oh yeah, I'd appreciate that a lot, Mr. Sorry, what was your name again?
Bennett, Sam Bennett.
Mr. Sam Bennett. Sure.
All right, I want to step in and just look as well as I can and investigate for any clues I can find.
Okay, so you're just gonna stay out here for right now, just on the outside. Yep. Okay. So tell me specifically what you're gonna start with. Like, where are you investigating specifically in this scene of the crime?
So I want to look around where the grave is and see if I can see any, tracks, anything like that.
Right.
Much as possible.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll, I guess, search or investigate or just plain perception, whatever you think is most appropriate.
I'm going to do forensics.
Forensics sounds great.
6.
6? Okay. So you're going to be searching around. Now, the unfortunate thing is you're not going to be able to see much in terms of tracks. Whoever did this tried to do it as cleanly as possible. So it's going to be very difficult for you to find anything in particular, not even like a footprint or anything. It hasn't rained in a while. Like I said, it's a very hot, sunny day, and it's been really dry. However, something, as you're kind of digging around in the soil, something does catch your eye that it looks like the cops, and maybe even Detective Haskell, may have missed. It's a small, white, ivory-looking object. And as you pick it up, you realize it's a chess piece. And not just any chess piece, it's a knight. And if you look very close at the knight, there seems to be something on it. And you realize with your forensics roll, it's dried blood. There's dried blood on this knight.
All right, I want to kind of pocket that. Okay.
Are you trying to hide that from the cops that you're hiding it?
Yeah,
supposed prop. Okay, definitely. Go ahead and roll sleight of hand or stealth or whatever.
All right.
Oh, Sam. Gotta get that evidence quick.
Yep. Gotta make sure I get it and they don't.
The game is afoot. Oh.
9.
So you succeeded?
9 out of 11.
Okay. Sometimes some crimes go slipping through the cracks, 'cause this new gumshoe is stealing all the evidence. Anyway. So, you succeed. They don't seem to notice that you took that. So I'm going to say that at least as far as the general area and grave, that's all you can find.
All right. I want to then give a quick look around, make sure I don't see Haskell, and if possible, head inside.
Yep. Yeah, you'll be able to head inside. Again, there's going to be some cops there, but I'm going to say that, I'm assuming you'll have some sort of do you have a badge? Like, do you have something that says your private eye and that? Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you can show that to them, and they'll be out good to get you out of the way. And you'll go inside the estate, and there's like this large room, which you presume is the main area for like the shop portion of his house, full of taxidermied horses. It looks like that Jock E. Skinner, Jock E. Skinner, specialized in horse taxidermy. And I'm gonna let you roll another streetwise. Roll another streetwise for me, please.
That is going to be 14 out of 15.
Okay. So you realize that many of these horses, I would probably say like a third of them, which is a good percentage of them, maybe a little bit more than a third of them, are actually horses that retired as racing horses, like that people would put bets on, racing horses. And many of them probably were taxidermied because, these are prized creatures that earn their masters a lot of fame and money, and probably for sentimental reasons they wanted to keep them as a taxidermy. So many of them are racehorses, and so some of them, you can see like little names in like little plaque things on them, and so one of the horses is called Naysayer. There's another one called Al Capone. And then another horse that maybe have made you chuckle is called Main Attraction. So, yeah. If you want to do a general like forensic search, I guess, like you can if you'd like.
Yeah, definitely. I think 14 versus 14.
So does that mean you still pass? I think 14 out of 14.
Yeah, just barely.
Yeah, you still pass, just barely. Okay, so the only thing that you recognize from here, at least in this scene of the crime, is that there is a lipstick case, like an empty lipstick case, I guess. That's what you call when you run out of the lipstick. You find that in the trash. And it's an interesting shade that is not typical that many of the women that you've seen wear. So it's a very interesting shade. And I don't know if Jacques E. Skinner necessarily strikes you as the person who wears makeup. So that might be the only thing out of the ordinary that you might have noticed in this area.
Well,
Right.
not to interrupt, but given the fact that we're in Sam Bennett's world, that lipstick either has to be white, black, or gray.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
So the way this works, to Sam, he does see in color. Everyone in his world does see in color, but outwardly, everybody else sees him and his world in black and white. Outwardly.
All right.
So yes,
Like it.
but good
Sorry.
question. Go ahead.
So yeah, that one I don't think I'm gonna pocket that, but I'm definitely gonna note it down.
As you're noting that down, you're going to hear a voice call out, "Samuel, is that you?"
All right, turning around, I'm guessing that's Haskell.
Yeah, that is Haskell.
What brings you here?
What brings me here? I could ask you the same thing.
Oh, I'm just working a case, and what do you know? All these paddy wagons roll up, flat feet pouring all over everything, stomping everything down. Should have known you were at the reins.
He sort of snorts a little bit. A little bit of a cheap punch there, don't you think, Bennett? I'd like to think that after all these years, you and I are above such things.
Oh, sure. I'm just having some fun. How about you tell me what you got going on here?
He feels a little bit amused by this, and he says, "You have eyes of your own, Sam, I'd like to think that for someone of your caliber, you probably might have already solved this case long before I did. Or are you just checking to make sure that I crossed my T's and dotted my I's?
You know, I never doubt any of your abilities. Here's what I've summarized so far. Skinner, he works for a lot of rich clients. He's super popular with the horse racing crowd. Turns up dead. Now, how about you? What do you find?
He takes out his notepad. All right. You want to exchange notes? I'll play your game for right now, Bennett. He goes over doing his notes and he says, so it's true, like you said, Jockey Skinner, he works with a lot of the wealthier folks, a lot of jockeys or horse owners that manage their horses. And he loves helping to preserve these champion steeds for them. So one thing that I did a little bit of investigating prior to this was that the last horse that he did, apparently, and he says pointing to a specific horse over there, was a champion known as Talk Derby to me, Sam. Talk Derby to me. That horse, in their last race, should have won. It was the most favored horse to win, but it was upset by another horse by the name of, he changes his notes, Maple Stirrup. Maple Stirrup.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Sam, these names that they give to these creatures.
Well, just all in fun, you know. Sometimes you gotta air it out. Let your hair down, undo your tie a little bit. Have some fun. Say, you mind if I just do a little looking around, poking around? I know it's your scene, but I promise I won't disturb anything.
Be my guest. Just, don't go around disturbing any of the evidence or anything.
All right. I'll tell you what, anything that I find, I'll make sure I bring it right to you.
Go ahead. So you're going to continue with your investigation?
Yeah, I want to keep looking around as much as I can.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll whatever you think is appropriate.
12 versus 14.
12 versus 14. Okay. So you probably will go into the office of Jacques E. Skinner, and you'll probably find some receipts or or business notes of some sort, and you're going through them, and nothing in particular catches your eye out of the ordinary. But you do see the receipt or invoice or whatever you want to call it for Talk Derby to me, that horse. And yes, it was indeed the most recent horse that he made. Interestingly enough, the person who asked for the horse to be taxidermied in the first place was one Belinda Screet.
Yeah, she's not being too discreet. All right. I definitely want to try to pocket that one as well.
Okay. So if you're going to try to pocket that in the presence of Haskell, I am going to ask for a -4 penalty because he is very observant. He is a detective. So it's going to be a little tough to pocket that without him noticing.
Ooh, 11 versus 11.
So with a -4, that means you don't. Okay. So you're starting to pocket, and you think that you've managed to do it while Detective Haskell's not watching, and then he goes, "Hey!
Well, look,
Bennett."
innocent as I can, and pull it out and switch hands and say, "I'm just grabbing a smoke. It's fine. I want to play it off as best I can, but know that I'm caught and not try to pocket."
Right. Roll I guess if you can roll deception, roll a deception. And again, because he's already is suspicious of you, I'm gonna make it a -6 because he's already like onto you. So there's gonna be a larger penalty now that he's definitely not buying what you're selling.
I'm not super deceptive either.
Oh boy, we'll see what happens. Maybe you could critical succeed. We'll see.
Maybe.
Have 3 or 4s. No. Okay.
No. He's not gonna buy.
Samuel. Come on. He says, do you really want to play this? Do you really think that you're going to be putting one over on me like that? Come on.
All right, I'm gonna level with you here, Haskell. See, I got a client who doesn't want to be mixed up in all this. She definitely has some opportunity to help blow this case wide open. But we got to be discreet, see? I know you got all kinds of people who will blab out to the papers, not to be as discreet as someone of your caliber. So with this one here, just keep it low for right now.
He'll take the papers from you. He's a little annoyed, so he kind of almost snatches it from you. And then he takes a look at it and he reads it. Belinda Discreet. The commissioner's ex-wife?
Told you, friends in high places. You got to be playing this one real close to the vest, see?
He's looking at Belinda Discreet's the invoice, and you can kind of tell. You don't even have to roll. You have some intuition that Haskell knows something that you don't, and he's not going to tell you unless you do some prodding. He's not going to just voluntarily tell you it, but you could feel no, that he's got something. He's got something I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you do?
I definitely want to start. I want to play a little bit on the whole. We went to the academy together.
Okay.
Maybe he has some insight. What kind of information does he have?
Sure. Yeah, if you want to make a roll for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna do criminology because I want to play off his.
Sure.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's fine.
14 versus 13. My dice are not cooperating.
Yeah, it's just not. Yeah, he's just not. Yeah, so you're gonna try to do pleasantries with him and trying to show. Oh yeah, back with. But he seems to still be one step ahead of you. But that's why he's a good rival. He's one step ahead of you.
Yep.
And he's polite about it. He kind of sees what you're doing, and I think at this moment he's like, okay, Samuel's just kind of. I'm just gonna, just kind of play along, and clearly I've got him right where I want him, but I'm not gonna rub his nose in it more than he needs to. So he's gonna spare you that. But I'm gonna say that afterwards he's going to say, well, I'm gonna have to take this as evidence now, so I will catch you later, Samuel.
All right.
And he's gonna head out if you don't do anything else. He's gonna.
Yeah, no, I'll let him go, but I want to try to follow him a bit, discreetly, and it's still stay as discreet as possible. Tail him and see if I can see him making any calls or where he's going or anything like that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say that. Go ahead and roll your stealth or whatever you want to tail him and follow him without being seen. You don't have to have any penalties with this. Shadowing, nice. So you're gonna follow him, and he actually goes to. He's actually gonna go to a diner that you actually frequent pretty quickly. And so he's going to go over to the diner, and I think he's going to, he's not going to eat there. He's actually going to go and use the payphone. people in the audience are thinking, what's a payphone? He goes over to the payphone, and, he shuts the door of the payphone, and so he's going to make a call. Now, this is going to be kind of tough for you unless you have a very good way of eavesdropping from a payphone without being seen. You tell me, like if that's what you're going to try to do.
Not so much. I'm going to hang back a bit, and after his call, I'll go and see if I can sweet talk the operator into giving me the details on who he dialed.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Sure. So he'll leave. He won't see you. You'll dial the operator, and yeah, go ahead and roll again. What do you think is?
I'm going to use my streetwise on this one. Ooh, 10 versus 15.
Okay. So they'll tell you that he was making a call to the commissioner.
Okay. All right. So I want to go back to the office and see if I can get a hold of Belinda Discreet.
Okay. So you're gonna try to call her on her phone?
I'll call her up, and
cool.
And I just want to start putting everything like in front of her and confronting her a little bit.
Yeah. So you'll try to give her a call, and the phone will pick up, and you'll hear a voice, not feminine though, a little scraggly, and it says, "Hello."
Yeah, Miss Discreet, please.
Mr. Screet? There ain't no Mr. Screet.
Belinda.
Oh, Belinda? She's out.
Can you tell me where she's at?
I'd have to ask who this is first.
Sure, this is Sam, her lawyer. She just hired me on.
Lawyer? She's got a lawyer?
Yeah, who's this?
Then the phone hangs up. Before we end the scene, roll me another streetwise.
Ooh, 16 out of 15. Man, my dice are...
Oh, man. Okay. All right. So you feel that the voice, based on the voice, it sounds familiar. Sounds very familiar, but you just can't quite put your finger as to who it is. Okay. But it's definitely a voice that you feel like you've heard before.
No.
Unfortunately, it's not working out today. Oh, sorry, Joe.
Nope, you're good.
All right. But hopefully it makes the mystery even more enticing for later. So, awesome. All right, so we're going to end that scene. Interesting stuff.
Sam is super cool.
Love it.
Alex. Okay, Frankie. So we're moving forward through time a little bit. And as time has been progressing, Victor and Frankie have gotten very close. And Victor, at the beginning, saw you as his pet project, saw you as, a tool, a weapon. I mean, he never referred to you as a tool, but, I think Felix and Agatha, if anything, might have referred to you as such. Not to your face, but to Victor. But I think little by little, he's starting to see a little bit more humanity in you. And is starting to, you're starting to bond, if such a thing can actually happen, between a human and a machine. And I'm going to say that one of the things that you and Victor have started doing together is reading, because you enjoy books, you enjoy poetry and stuff like that. So, Alex, could you, if Victor asked Frankie to pick out a book to read together, what book would that be?
Yes. Well, I always like the books of poetry that you have there. There's probably like a book that is just like a mix of poems, and he always likes that because he likes nice variety, a lot of romantic poems. So he'll point to that book. Like, oh, let's pick this one.
out of character. I don't have a poem in mind or prepared. So if you want to kind of make up or describe what the poem is about or what the gist of the poem is about.
Sure, yeah. The poem, it talks a lot about the beauty in nature, and it describes a very picturesque, like, mountain scene, and there's a lot of, like, there's waterfalls, and there's just a lot of allegory with nature and romance and love, and so there's these elements of perhaps kind of supernatural in it too. There's this perhaps some mysticism as part of this poem, and so it's a lot of the things that Frankie really just enjoys, and it even puts him more like at ease than anything.
So, and this is more Victor reading to Frankie, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Typically.
Almost. Gotcha. So, Victor finishes reading this poem, and he closes the book, and he's sitting right next to you. You're side by side, because you're reading over his shoulder a little bit as he's reading out loud, and he says, "Wow. That was beautiful."
Yes, it's and I also just love hearing your voice say the words.
Victor kind of blushes a little bit when you say that, and he gently lays the book down onto his lap, and he says, "Frankie, can I ask you a question?"
Sure. What is it?
When I say that was beautiful, do you know what I mean? Do you know what beauty is?
I think so. I think you're beautiful.
Why do you think I'm beautiful?
Just everything. Your face, how you are. You're smart.
Well, I guess if I'm being honest, and I was trying to determine if you understand beauty, and the first thing you say is that you think I'm beautiful, I guess if I were to agree with you, I feel a little awkward, but if I don't agree with you, then what does that say about me? He says, chuckling.
And he just kind of looks away a little bit, like, I'm not beautiful.
Why not? Why do you say that?
Look at me. Look at this.
Well, Frankie, you don't look like a lot of other people. You definitely stand out in a crowd, but that doesn't mean that you're not beautiful.
How do you think I'm beautiful?
You're just the things that you can do. I've seen you training. I've seen you work with all of the simulations. I've seen you work side by side with our soldiers. Like, everything about you that you are able to be, that you are capable of, so much more than any normal person. I don't know. I just find that so fascinating and engaging.
Yes, I am physically capable. That's how you made me.
Yeah. Let me ask you a different question, Frankie. Are you happy? Like, if I say happy, do you understand what that means?
I like this. That's what happy means. I like how I feel when I'm with you.
What exactly do you feel when he sort of swallows a little bit? When you feel happy, he says. What is it like?
I feel safe here. And all of the training and everything else just goes away, and I feel like I can be myself here with you.
Victor starts to move his hand to grab a hold of yours, but before he actually makes contact with your hand, like almost as a reflex reaction, he instead lifts his hand up a little bit higher and kind of pats you on the shoulder like that. So it's, it's that little like awkward, kind of wants to commit but not quite there yet, so just kind of dancing around it a little bit kind of thing. It's cute, but
he
frustrating but cute.
He notices I guess the hesitation and the gesture and just lets it go, as he is still unsure of things himself. So it's like he can't quite find the words that he really wants.
He says, "Well, Frankie, I hope you know that I'm always here to keep you safe, and if there's anything I can do to make you happier, I mean, I created you. It's my responsibility to make you as happy as possible.
And just know that I will do anything I can to keep you safe."
His eyes start to sparkle a little bit. And again, he just blushes, and he just looks up to you, and it looks like he's about to say something else, but then you hear another person in the room clear their throat. And the two of you probably look up, and the person that you see is Henry.
Oh.
And Victor goes, "Henry," he says, and he kind of drops the book as he stands up, and he kind of pulls away from Frankie in that moment, almost instinctively. And he just, looks right at Victor, and he says, "Victor, they need you over in the training grounds right now." "Yeah, right. Okay, Frankie, I'll talk to you later, okay?"
Oh, sure. Okay, no problem. And Frankie actually kind of gets up from his seat as Henry is in, and almost feels like he needs to exert a little bit more of his stature when Henry's around.
Yeah, you revert back to that, and Henry, as Victor is going out, he actually has a rifle with him, and it looks like he's like cleaning it a little bit. He's cleaning like the barrel of his rifle. And he's not really like looking at your direction. He's just kind of paying attention to what he's doing. He's got his side to you, not his back to you. And, he's just doing that for a minute or so. And then after a minute, he says, "You're only going to just hurt him at the end."
What do you mean hurt him? I don't plan to hurt him. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about you and him. You're getting too close.
Close? Of course we're close. He made me.
No, that's not what I mean, he says as he looks towards you. You know what I mean.
I don't know what you mean.
Maybe you're not as smart as they say you are then, he says. And he kind of starts to move towards your direction, almost like if Felix told you about the bubble and personal space. Mm-hmm. He definitely is invading the bubble right now.
And Frankie does not back down either. So he's just like, explain it to me then. I don't know what you're talking about.
You are a machine. You are a tool. He made you. Anything beyond that is unnatural, he says.
Unnatural. And he kind of turns away as he hears that, and it almost stabs at him, the words dug deep.
I see the way that you look at him. I see that look in your eye. I can tell. Because that's... As a human, I can see. But those feelings that you're having, they're not real. It's all part of a program. You need to feel things. You need some level of empathy so that you can care about the job that you're doing. But that's all it is. It's a tool for you to do your job more efficiently.
Why do you say those things?
Because, number one, it's the truth. And number two, because I don't want Victor to be involved in something that's ultimately going to get him hurt in the end.
With me around, he will not be hurt. All you do is say hurtful things. That's what you do.
I'm saying those things so I can protect him.
Protect him, how? I was made to protect. I was made to...
You were made from dead corpses. You are a zombified freak. Those eyes that you have right now, I didn't tell Victor this. I know those eyes. One of my closest friends, he died. And he's the reason you can see and pass as a human. Every time I look at you, I think of him.
There's nothing I can do for your friend.
I know.
And the hurt you feel inside doesn't have to be used against me.
He backs up a little bit. I know I can't do anything for my friend now. But I know I can do something for Victor now. And that's why I am telling you these things.
Well, I can do something for Victor too. I'll keep him safe, and I will not let anything happen to him. I cannot change who I am. You have to accept that.
He looks at you again and he goes back to fidgeting with his rifle. And then he looks at you up and down and says, one of these days, you're gonna remember our talk. And you're gonna know I'm right.
We shall see.
He backs up and he leaves.
And then at that point, you know, he's like a little bit more relaxed now that he's left, but he's still tense by that conversation, and he's just fidgeting the entire time.
Some time passes, maybe like 10 minutes, and then Victor will return and he'll say, Frankie, are you alright?
No, I'm not alright. It's your friend, Henry.
Henry, what's wrong? Is something happened to Henry?
No, he hates me. He thinks I'm gonna hurt you.
Are you sure? Henry is one of the nicest people that I know.
All he says are hurtful things to me. Make me feel like I'm less. I'm just nothing. I'm just a thing.
Victor goes up to you and he says, "Whoa, wait, Frankie, what did he say to you?"
He said that I will end up hurting you, which is not true. And then he just kind of grabs Victor and almost like in a full embrace, but just kind of grabs his shoulder. It's like, I will never do anything to hurt you. You have to believe that. You don't you?
I know. No, Frankie, I do. I do believe you. I know. I do believe you. And as for Henry, you have to understand, he's gone through a lot, and he's been struggling. He, of all people, has suffered probably more than almost anyone at this camp. And, I mean, if I was being honest, he wasn't completely all for this whole project. He was about to point to you, but then he points at like the entire laboratory.
It's okay. You can say it to me. He's made it clear. He does not like me at all.
Just give him some time. Like, I know that I understand you're hurt. I'm sorry. And let me at least talk to him.
I mean, you can try, but he was very clear earlier. And with that, he'll actually sit down and try to make Victor feel taller in that moment.
Oh, okay.
And just he's still, kind of holding on to him.
Yeah.
I just sometimes when he says those things to me, though, I believe him.
He, you sit down, and for a moment he stands, but then he sits down next to you, and he just kind of takes his arm and he finally like wraps it around you and just pulls you in really close. The beating in your heart probably skips a little bit. And he says, hey, look, don't worry about that right now, okay? Here. And he picks up the poem book again. Why don't you and I read another poem, okay? Does that make you feel better?
Yeah, yes. Let's do that. Let's do that. And then he like looks up at him and like smiles at that whole change.
And with that, he will also smile, and he'll start reading the next poem to you. And for the very first time, especially because he notices that you're so like upset, while he's reading the poem, his finger starts to brush up against your fingers a little bit as he's like holding the book and reading it. How does Frankie react to that as he's brushing his fingers against yours?
Yeah, so as he is doing that, his hands are probably like twice his hands. And so he is just letting his fingers kind of run through his, and he's very cognizant that he doesn't want to just kind of grab and crush his fingers in any kind of way. He knows his strength well, and he just lets Victor kind of guide the fingers in, and he just like receptively like just lets it, and then he just at the very end he just gives him a little bit of a squeeze with his fingers.
And with that, he will reciprocate and will hold hands with you for the first time. End scene. Yeah.
My goodness. Oh my god, I love this so much. And for real, Henry, I don't like that dude.
We're all over here like, can't wait to wreck Henry in this.
Right? Like, ooh, give me 5 minutes with that guy.
Henry has a backstory,
Yeah.
You probably aren't supposed to like him at first, but he has a backstory. Anyway.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.